So hi guys, we're here at the Don's Local Action Group Hub today. I'm here with Sarah and she's going to tell me a bit more about the process that goes into putting together these lovely food packages that go out to the local community. So Sarah,
okay, well
please.
Today we're making up pescatarian and halal boxes.
Okay.
So what we do is we have one of these sheets which shows us everything that goes in there. And then this is all the long life products that are going in, so Ashley's starting to put them in.
Yeah.
And then before the boxes go out, we add fresh fruit and veg, and we add other fresh perishable products like cheese and butter.
Sure.
So
Eggs and bread.
Eggs and bread.
Eggs and bread.
And rice.
And this is so sorry to interrupt. This is all to like last a family a week or?
Yes, so each family that's entitled will get one of these. Well, this is the adult box.
Yeah.
So depending on how many people there are in the family, each member gets a box.
Sure.
So if there's 2 adults and 2 kids, they get 2 of these, and then we make up a smaller version for the children.
Okay, excellent. And then we were saying off camera that you guys took inspiration from other charities on working out how much was the right amount to last a week. So stuff like that fruit bag down there,
Yeah.
fruit and veg bag, and then also these items as well, which you know have got long life.
Yeah.
They will last the entirety of the time that they need them for.
Well, what we did when we started, obviously, because the DLAG started doing food boxes right at the beginning of COVID.
Yeah.
And basically the whole point was people that were locked in their homes couldn't get out. It was regardless of how much money people had, we would make sure that they had something to eat for that week.
Yeah.
And so, other agencies, we went to them and got an idea of what they put in their food boxes, but we decided we want to make ours even better. So we add in the fresh fruit and veg, which some food agencies won't provide. So we make sure everybody would get a bag like this each week. So there should be enough fresh fruit and veg for them to have something every day.
Yeah.
And so we make up these boxes in advance, and then we add in the other things just before the boxes go out to be delivered.
And then obviously you've got the drivers who come in and take the deliveries out. That's obviously another unique part of DLAG.
Because we deliver direct to people's houses. So it doesn't go to somewhere where people have to come and get it themselves. It's delivered to their own houses for people that are concerned about going out. That works really well.
Yeah. And then obviously I know all of you guys are volunteers. What made you want to get involved?
Personally, I got involved because my husband and my sons are all massive AFC Wimbledon fans and always have been. In fact, my middle son Tom is just got his under 18 contract scholar for Wimbledon. So at the very beginning of the COVID outbreak, I knew that this was being set up.
Sure.
So initially I got involved by being in Surbiton collecting food.
Yeah.
And then I started driving and delivering, and now I'm helping out in the hub.
Yeah. And then what's sort of been like the most, I want to say memorable, but sort of the most rewarding part of it for you?
I think actually delivering the food when I did that, because there were some families that I was delivering to where you could see the look on their faces when the box arrived and their kids were around them and they were like, yeah, the food's arrived. And you can't imagine, I've got 3 sons and I cannot imagine not being able to feed them each week.
Exactly.
And so the idea of being able to help somebody know that their children's going to get fed, and not just fed, but really nutritious food, made it all worthwhile for me. So.
Yeah. No, it's amazing how we sort of take everything for granted, like even stuff like pasta, even going into the cupboard and getting a bourbon. Like we're lucky to have these luxuries, whereas other people want. And without you guys, you sort of worry to think what their situation would be like.
No, I know, and some of it is basic food to live, but we also make sure that we'll put things like some biscuits or crisps or sweets for the children, some treats, not too much because obviously we want it to be healthy food, but just those extra bits that their friends at school are probably getting, and that's the bit that is the last bit that their parents can probably afford to get for them. So.
Definitely, and if you were to sort of say to someone who might want to get involved, how would you encourage them? And is it how many hours a day are you guys doing?
You can give as much or as little as you want to. So I only volunteer for 2.5 hours a week.
Yeah.
If you can do a shift on a stall, which we're outside lots of supermarkets in the borough of Merton, Wandsworth and Kingston. So again, you can do a 3-hour shift, or you can do 5 shifts a week if you want to. So it's as little or as often as you want to, really.
Brilliant. Sarah, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
So guys, I've come into the DLAG kitchen, if you like, to speak to Tim. He's a Deputy Head of Operations. Tim, tell us about your role.
So I run operations with Craig on a daily basis, just overseeing everything from collecting food at the supermarkets, making sure the van's picking stuff up, making sure deliveries go out daily, and managing the volunteers. That's probably my biggest role, is managing the volunteers.
Sure. And then, what got you involved? Because I know you're not a Wimbledon fan, and that's not what it's about. It's not about being a fan and getting involved, is it?
My partner runs a charity, Jigsaw for You. They had in Mitcham, they had a small food bank which ran dry very quickly during the beginning of the pandemic, early 2020. They put a shout out for the help from the Dons. I think we were about 3 weeks in. Word was getting around that the Wimbledon fans were helping people. We put a shout out to them. They said yes, but we need drivers. So my partner put me forward for just doing little drops of boxes, and it's just gone from there. I just got more and more involved, and eventually got offered a job.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then what's like an average day for you?
Average day is early start, getting in, making sure everything's ready for the individual boxes going out for our families. Making sure the fruit and veg bags are done, all the fresh stuff goes, because we keep that separate, the fresh stuff goes into our boxes, and then, like I say, making sure everything's prepared for the next day, making sure our volunteers are okay, managing them, and just putting everything in place for like deliveries.
Definitely. And then with the stalls that you have out around the community, how much has that sort of increased over time? Has it sort of grown every week, or have you seen much of a change since the pandemic sort of diminished?
Well, what we've done is originally we had about 20 stalls outside supermarkets across the 3 boroughs. As people went back to work, we lost volunteers. We kind of just consolidated. We knew what stores were busier, so we sort of pushed the volunteers that we had to go to those stores. We're probably down to about 10, but they're 10 good stores that we get a lot of donations coming back. So and we want to make sure we've got volunteers to fill all the slots at those stores, so we don't push ourselves. We have opened a new one recently, a big one in Tesco's in Sutton, which seems to be a good one. We do that at weekends, so we're always looking for opportunities, but as long as we can get those 10 filled with volunteers, it's what we want.
Fantastic. And then if there's sort of a story that sticks out for you, what would you say is a story that sort of brought it home to you about how much this means and how much it helps people's lives?
There's been so many. I've been doing this 2 years now, over 2 years now. One story. Let me have a little think. Sorry about this, guy.
It's alright.
I guess there's just too many to think of, really. It's just when you do deliveries and you see the reaction from people, I think for me, that is the thing. Like, some people just overwhelmed with happiness, and it's a small, like, you're giving them food at the end of the day, and it's a small thing, but it means a hell of a lot to people. It takes the pressure off if they're under financial restraints. Just giving them that food box, maybe they can use the money for other things, whatever. But I think all round, it's just people's reactions to what we do. I do like what we've done as far as creating a family with our volunteers. Yeah. We are mainly volunteers. There's only 2 paid staff. Everybody else is volunteers. So we've got a lovely family feel. They're volunteers who turn up week in, week out. They give us a whole day, half a day. They drive for us religiously. I think that's I do love that side of it. We've kept it like a bit of a family, and
Sort of gives you a sense of purpose, doesn't it?
Definitely, yeah. And like I say, it's sometimes not easy managing volunteers, but definitely it's a new skill I've acquired over the last 2 years, and I do enjoy it, I must say. Yeah, it's good.
Perfect. Tim, thanks for your time, mate.
No worries. Cheers.
Yeah, so how did you get involved then, mate?
Oh, so I was, first of all, it's straight away lockdown. I was queuing up at Tesco's.
Yeah.
And they used to make you queue in.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And then, so as I was queuing, there was a couple of guys, the Dons were outside, sort of doing, the guy was walking up down there, we need this, we need that. And it was early April, so it was only a couple of weeks young, if you like.
Yeah.
So I asked the guy a question because I was concerned that they were taken away from food banks.
Right.
Because it was always a food bank there. And he sort of ummed and ahed, and anyway, I saw him again and he said, no, he actually pulled me out. So I said, well, nice, okay. I said, well, do you looking for volunteers or whatever? And he said, yeah, we're looking for people. He said, are you a driver? I said, yeah, I've got a car. He said, and that's it.
Nice. Fantastic. So we've come down to Sainsbury's in Wimbledon to speak to Tony. Tony, what time did you get here today?
So I'm doing the 2 till 5 shift today. It's a 3-hour shift which goes very quickly. Yeah, that's why I'm here.
Excellent. And how did you first get involved with DLAG?
Totally honestly, because I retired, looking for something to do, and so I ended up by doing this instead.
Perfect. And what's been the most rewarding thing for you?
Getting to know the regulars. Something which I thought was great was when we were here during the lockdown, we got to know members of the staff very well, and they said there's somewhat cynical view of the public because of the experiences they suffer was actually changed because they saw the generosity of people, and so it actually made a difference to the staff themselves.
Definitely. And then, is this where you're usually based, or do you just tend to go where you're needed?
I've done Morrison's, Waitrose and Tesco's, but this is the most convenient for me personally, and we've developed a bit of a team here.
Perfect. And what's been sort of has it been a main highlight for you of doing this, and is there like a story that you sort of learnt about that's made you think, oh, what I'm doing is so worth it?
I think sometimes someone who came up and donated one day and explained the reason they donated because they had survived as a result of handouts previously.
Yeah.
And so that was an important thing.
Perfect. And if you were to encourage people to get involved, what would you say to them, and what would you say the main benefits for you personally?
And to encourage other people to get involved, it's not difficult, it's standing around doing nothing, we can all do it. It's relatively short term. Thank you very much indeed. You get to experience the wide range of generosity that there is in the public. Get to meet people, get to stand in the sunshine. What more do you want to do?
It gives you a sense of purpose, doesn't it?
Gives you a sense of purpose.
Thanks for talking to us, Tony. Appreciate it.
Good luck.